This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Running Back Nation, what is good? Sixers sickos, what is good? Thanks for being here. Let's get 1,000 likes on the video. If we get 1,000 likes on this video, the 76ers will do what I'm about to say that I think they can do this season. All right, what we're going to talk about is there's a Bleacher Report article projecting the ceiling and the floor for each of Joel Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey. I want to read that article. I want to give my opinion on it, see if I agree or disagree, see if you agree or disagree, okay? And then over on Philly Voice, there is a Sixers mailbag. What does the team need to do in the playoffs for 24-25 to be successful? I want to also give my opinion on that. I want you to give your opinion on that. All right? Before we jump into it, 50% of people that are nuts, that are what am I trying to say? 50% of people that subscribe, 50% of people that watch this video are not subscribed to the channel. We're on the road to 25,000 subscribers. Just hit the subscribe button for me, okay? That's all I ask. Let's get down to business, man. Now, oh my God, I don't have anything up here. I'm fired. Listen, here you go. Bleacher Report, okay? Projecting Joel Embiid, 76ers stars, ceilings and floors for 24-25. I'm interested to see what they say is the ceiling for Joel Embiid and the ceiling for Tyrese Maxey and the ceiling for Paul George and the floors also. So let's just jump right into the article, man. NBA teams, let's see if we can zoom in here. Where are we at, bro? We need bigger words. I need bigger words. NBA teams split on the efficacy of three-star model, but the Philadelphia 76ers are clearly big believers in it. I already disagree. That's not a three-star model. We think Paul George is a perfect fit because as he enters the downside of his career, he's a very, very good third option. That's where I'm at with it, okay? And he's just flat out better than Tobias Harris. And if you had Paul George last year instead of Tobias Harris, maybe you're in the NBA Finals. They tied all their hopes in this year's free agency. They signed Paul George. With George now alongside former MVP Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Sixers may have a trio talented enough to bring the franchise's first championship since 1983. I agree with that. I think this roster is good enough to win it all. Philadelphia's success will, by design, be determined in large part by the performance of his stars. Of course. Here you go. Ceiling and floor of Joel Embiid. Bleacher Report says ceiling. Embiid flirts with 70 appearances. Leads the Sixers to top 2 seed in the East and brings home his second MVP in 3 seasons. I don't care about that. I don't know why this is his ceiling. I don't know what that has to do with the Sixers winning a championship. Nobody, Sixers fans, I speak for all Sixers fans when I say this. We don't care. You know the Stephen A. Smith meme? We don't care. Okay? We don't care. I don't want Joel Embiid to play 70 games because I don't want him to be run down by the time the playoffs start. I don't care if Joel Embiid wins an MVP. I don't care if he plays 70 games. I'll be happy if Joel Embiid plays 50 and doesn't tear his damn meniscus. Knock on wood. A healthy Embiid is about as dominant as any player you'll find in the modern NBA. A healthy Embiid is the most dominant player in the modern NBA. It's not even close. Let's be serious. There might be arguments for others, but there are few. No, there's no arguments for others. Last season, he's not only, we know his stats last season. The big fella's challenge is keeping himself upright and conditioned well enough to run through the proverbial tape if he checks both boxes. Okay, I don't know why that's his ceiling. The ceiling for Joel Embiid this season is remaining healthy and being 100% healthy in the playoffs and making it all the way through the playoffs without an injury. That's the ceiling. 70 games, MVP, bullshit. Bullshit! The ceiling is health for Joel Embiid. We already know how good he is. The floor. He doesn't play enough to qualify for end-of-season awards, but Philly... I don't give a fuck about end-of-season awards! Okay. Anyone remember the last time played 70 games? Don't care! His absence count could easily close. Don't care! Philly's top... Why does this whole thing have to do with finishing a certain amount of games and winning awards? The ceiling for Joel Embiid is remaining healthy, getting to the playoffs healthy, and being his dominant 100% in shape and healthy self in the playoffs. The floor is another injury and the season sucks. There's that. What the? All right, let's see Paul George, man. Ceiling. George is hand in glove fit as Philly's third star and finds the right blend of volume and efficiency to earn all NBA honors. I agree with that. I'm not sure why this whole thing is tailored toward awards, but some stars shine brighter than George, but not many can match his versatility. I like that as a ceiling. The 34-year-old is equally comfortable and competent serving as a primary option or a support piece, and when he's not shredding nets or finding shots for himself or his teammates, he's locking horns with some of the league's elites on the defensive end. I agree with that also. Moving to Philadelphia seems unlikely to help his volume. We don't care about his volume. If George is a 20-plus point scorer who shoots 50, 40, 90, averages a decent amount more assists than assists. Averages a decent amount more assists than assists. Who edited this? And holds his own defensively, he might convince all NBA voters. I don't care about awards, but I agree with most of this. The ceiling for Paul George this season is being a seamless third option fit who in games without Joel Embiid can rise to the occasion to be the leader, and 20-point scorer on 50, 40, 90. I agree with that completely. Floor. Injury problems. Never appears fully comfortable with the others. A healthy George is probably an all-star, but he isn't always healthy. While he made 74 appearances last season, it was his first time clearing the 60-game mark since 18-19. The time lost always hurts. I think the floor is that, but I think not because, again, if they get to the playoffs healthy, that's all I really care about. But if they're injured on and off and we get this like Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George thing where they hardly play a game together the whole season, that just affects the fans. It won't be an interesting season if every single night Paul George is out, Joel Embiid is in, Joel Embiid is in, Paul George is out. It will be bad for the fan base. That's the only reason. But if they get to the playoffs healthy, still happy with it, okay? Tyrese Maxey. Ceiling. Maxey continues pushing his production higher, this time forcing his way into an all-NBA roster. There will be a point when Maxey maxes out his growth, but don't bet on that happening just yet. His season-over-season stats seemingly show perpetual improvements, yet he still has another level he can reach. I agree with that. And that's exactly what I said yesterday. In a perfect world, the 23-year-old could mix the volume he found last season, 26 assists, with efficiency he enjoyed the seasons prior, 48% from the field, 43% from the perimeter. Well, if his shooting percentages are going up, how would his point per game remain the same? Bleacher Report writer, I would like to know that. Jesse D. Oh, that's the photographer of that photo. The 2020 first rounder could lose a few counting stats to accommodate for George's arrival. Nope, don't want that to happen. Nope. Don't want Tyrese Maxey to take a back seat to Paul George or to have anything. I don't want to. He had this was his first season last year was shooting 20 shots a game. I want him to continue to shoot 20 shots a game. I actually want him to shoot more. So no, I don't want that to happen. This past season, he was a first-time All-Star. The ceiling for Tyrese Maxey is MVP lists. I don't think he's going to win MVP. It would be too hard to get over SGA and Luka and Jokic and probably Embiid, but MVP level performance, MVP level numbers is the ceiling for Tyrese Maxey. The floor for Tyrese Maxey, he puts up numbers, but they aren't the most efficient, and the whole of Philly's offense never matches some of its parts. Maxey's shooting growth has been incredible to see in 4 years. 30% shooting, splashing 3 triples at 37% clip. It's fair to wonder whether he can maintain that efficiency, especially while trying to find his footing with a largely retooled roster. There is no floor. Then none of this applies to Tyrese Maxey. I know they had to make this up to fit what the article was saying, ceiling versus floor, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't see Tyrese Maxey slowing down anytime soon. There's nothing that tells me his shooting's going to dip or anything like this is going to happen. There is no floor this season for Tyrese Maxey. Only up. All right? There's my take on all of that. You give me in the comments, give me your opinion, the ceiling and the floor for all three of these players. Give me that. Give me that in the comments, all right? Now, look, we're going to go to what do the Sixers have to do these playoffs for this to be successful? And this is going to be an interesting one, and I'm excited to talk about it. But first, this is brought to you by BetUS. And over on BetUS, we're going to bet on the 76ers because what I think they need to do this playoffs for it to be successful is make it to the NBA Finals. I know a lot of people think if they just get to the Eastern Conference Finals and they lose to the Celtics, that's successful. In my book, that's not successful. Your whole goal, your whole reason for building this roster is to try to beat the Boston Celtics. You got to beat the Boston Celtics for this to be successful. So we're going to bet on the Philadelphia 76ers to win the East and make it to the NBA Finals. We throw 20 on those plus 400 odds. There's $80. And there you go. Confirm, lock it in. You can get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 and 10% gambler's insurance over on BetUS using the link in my description. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring the channel. Now look, what does the team need to do in the playoffs for 24-25 to be successful? As I just said, while betting on the Sixers to make it to the East, to the NBA Finals, they need to get to the NBA Finals. I'm not buying this as long as we get out of the second round as a success. Bullshit. Okay? Would it be nice to get out of the second round? Absolutely. Would it be the first time since 2001 they've gotten out of the second round? Yes. Would it help the narrative around Joel Embiid that he can't get out of the second round? Of course, it would help a lot of things. But you did not sit down and put this roster together and pay that money to Paul George and re-sign Tyrese Maxey and go out and sign Caleb Martin and re-sign Kelly Oubre and sign Andre Drummond and bring back Kyle Lowry and all. You didn't do all of these things and go sign Yabusele from the damn Olympic performance. You didn't do all of these things. Daryl Morey didn't sit back there and unload the rounds that he unloaded this offseason, thinking to himself, I got to build a team that can get out of the second round. That's not why he did it. He said, I got to build a team that can beat the Boston Celtics. That's what he was doing. And I hope he did that. But that's my take on it. You give me yours. We'll see what Sixers Adam says here. Adam Arison from the Philly Voice. What does the team need to do in the playoffs for 24-25 to be successful? Adam says, okay, here we go. From Jeremy Pease to how far must the Sixers advance to be successful? That right there is the question, isn't it? I think the gut reaction of many would be the Sixers need to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. That is an understandable sentiment. The Sixers have not been there since 2001. It's become a frequent punchline. Getting out of the second round finally would lift some weight off the shoulders of Joel Embiid and even relieve Sixers president of basketball operations of some external pressure. Kind of what I just said. There's no doubt that if the Sixers were to get out of the second round, it would mean a lot more to them than the same accomplishment would mean for the average NBA organization. I agree with that. Particularly if they were to close out a second round series on their home floor, it would be very possibly become the most memorable moment of the Sixers era of basketball for the time being. Okay, that's sad, but you're right. But there are 2 more rounds to win after that. As joyous of an occasion as it may be for the Sixers and their fans, if they earn an Eastern Conference Finals berth, what happens? They follow it up by getting their doors blown off by a team like the Boston Celtics. Suddenly, that moment would not have the same significance. The Sixers should be considered heavy underdogs in a potential series against Boston as things stand now. I don't think heavy underdogs. Don't forget, 2 years ago, the Boston Celtics won 7 games with the Atlanta Hawks. The Boston Celtics have weaknesses, bro. I say this every year. They're not this dominant powerhouse. That's not what happened. Look what happened. Injuries. They skated their way there. Were they better than everybody? Yes. But they're not this unbeatable powerhouse. They can lose. Suddenly, that moment, the Sixers should be considered heavy underdog. Disagree with that. And the same can be said for 28 other teams, but Embiid is 30 years old. Paul George returned 35 at the beginning of May. They don't have time to wait out a potential dynasty in the making. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Adam. I agree mostly with this, that getting out of the second round is not a success this season because you got old-ass players. All right? Well, it's the first year they're all together, so they need time to you say that every time we rotate the roster. You said that with the Ben Simmons stuff. You said that with the James Harden stuff. Now you're going to say that with the Paul George stuff. This is the first year they were together. Let's see what they do next year. Let's see what they do next year. Should put it on my damn tombstone one day when inevitably none of this works and we never win anything. Let's see what they do next year on my tombstone. The Sixers need to beat the Boston Celtics this season for it to be a success. Facts. Hey, that's all I got, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you soon.